Blarla.
Hello peeps and welcome back to Pharaoh. We're heading to a new destination. We're going to Buhen, expansion to Nubia. Today's episode is sponsored by Trent Anthony Francis. What a guy.
Our new Pharaoh Sneferu is determined that this, the fourth dynasty, be remembered as the greatest ever to rule Egypt. Pharaoh wishes that our borders be pushed even further south. He has therefore decreed that we invade Nubia and establish a fortified city at Buhen, beside the second cataract of the Nile. There you must also erect a granite obelisk to serve as a beacon that this area forever belongs to Egypt and to Pharaoh. There is no granite to be found so far south, however, so you will need to import it from Abu. At Buhen, you will encounter fierce and seasoned Nubian warriors who will fight to the death to prevent us from establishing a foothold so far south. Do not despair, for after vigorous training at a military academy, your fighting men may emerge as seasoned veterans themselves. What's more, our military engineers have perfected the design of several defensive structures, such as fortified towers, walls, and gatehouses. These will prove invaluable in withstanding the onslaught of the Nubian army. Transport ships may also be employed to aid in moving your army around by water when necessary. To the north, we have opened relations with Enkomi on the island of Cyprus. This land is named for its abundant reserves of copper ore, which we are now able to purchase from them. However, thanks to a recently established Egyptian mining community at Serabet Kadim in the land of Sinai, we are able to supply our governors with copper at a much more affordable price. Supplies from Serabet Kadim are often erratic due to unrelenting Bedouin and Canaanite attacks against the settlement, and we are uncertain how much longer the Egyptian forces stationed there can hold out. Pharaoh's burial place, a unique and spectacular monument, is currently under construction at Dashur. From time to time, Pharaoh may request that you contribute some limestone to aid in the completion of this project.
Wow. We have plenty of limestone over in Dashur. We don't need to be sending them any, but fine. I thought this was going to be a peaceful mission, and there's a whole thing there about warring. That's fine. It's actually, that whole middle paragraph now is largely null and void, because since the Cleopatra update, we no longer war on the map. So we don't need those transport ships, fortified towers, walls or gatehouses, because they don't come on the map anymore. It's all done off screen. So, bit of a shame, isn't it? Bit of a shame. So largely peaceful, but we are going to need, I guess, some barracks and training up some armies. That's fine. It's easy enough these days. I don't worry about it like I used to. Right. And I think that's a bad thing, just saying. Let's have a look at the map. There's all sorts going on here, isn't there? So we've got this bit of land over here. We have rocks. And we have lots of ostriches. On the other side, again, we have lots of rock. We have, look, precious metals here as well. We've got a little bit of floodplains. We also have some meadows here. So we could do water lifts, couldn't we? And thanks to this little bit of water over here, getting an establishment in the middle here is not too bad. It's not too difficult to accomplish. So we do have access to the hunting lodge. We have barley, chickpeas, and that's it again. Right, okay, and then we've got our work camp. So we have the shipwright, which we can make fishing boats from. I didn't recall seeing any fish popping about there, but maybe there are. The gold mine. Excellent. So we don't necessarily need to make gold. We can just mine masses of it. Limestone quarry, which we may get requests for. And then a lot like the previous area. Look, we got the jewelers, the brickworks, weavers, the brewery, potters, and papyrus maker. Okay. We have two gods. We have Seth, who's also our patron god, and we have Ptah. Okay. And again, yeah, we have the wall, the tower, the gatehouse. Doesn't really mean anything. Military academy, the recruiter, archers and infantry, the weaponsmith, warship wharf, and transport wharf. Okay. It might be worth having warship wharfs, though. They probably crop up on those mission things, right? Do they? I don't know. We're going to find out. We will find out. And then we have our small obelisk. And it is small. Look at that. Why is it all... Oh, you actually have to have the granite in stock, by the looks, before you can even place it. Interesting. And it's not that big. It's the same size as a temple. Look, 3x3. So I forgot to look at these bits. So we're going to need a cultural rating of 25, prosperity of 25, monument of 9, kingdom of 75, no target housing, 3,000 population. So right up here we have one. Look. Sells copper and fish, buys beer. That could be very, very good for us. They buy beer and barley, water trade. Okay. And Men-Nefer. We've got Cerebit. Again, they don't buy anything, but they sell gems and copper. Okay. Medum also buy beer. They sell reeds and clay. Here's Abu. This is where we're going to be getting our granite. So they will sell us 15 granite a year. So it'll take a while to build up 100. We might also get gifted some granite, I suppose. So we should be prepared for that. But and they also have Salima. That's quite a cheap land route. And they will buy beer and copper. What's unfortunate about these ferry landings? They take up good dock and shipwright locations. Now we could put one here, but then we can't really get round there. This sort of area of the map is cut off, really. It's isolated because of this range. If we wanted to use it, we'd realistically need to have a crossing there and then another crossing over here so they can do this. I think what I will do is start over here because this will make it easier to get over here and spread and over here and spread if we're over, if we start in this corner. Not only that, but it's cheap, quick and easy for and reliable food source. It's quite prolific, a food source. Then we can also get the limestone going quickly here, should those orders come in. There's no money-making scheme here. But if we could stabilise that and then see about getting a settlement here or here so that we can start getting gold and maybe beer going. Something like that. So the non-negotiables are we need to get the ferry landings in. We are going to want one there. Now this one's a bit tricky because I don't really want to take up these spots. Now we can get 1, 2, 3 here, and I think 1, 2, 3 there. Okay, so it's not so bad. So we've got a little setup like this going to get us started. We'll do the bazaar. The position. Good. Then we'll put in our temples. I think we'll stick that in there. We'll get that hooked up because we know it needs to be done. It is going to be difficult to get people in mines here, but we're going to need to set up a small settlement here to get this functioning. So it could be that we make it a little bit bigger to get them here. So we're going to need hunting lodges. I'm thinking let's try 2 here. See how they get on. We will need a granary. Now I could put them on this side or this side. Bearing in mind that we're probably going to have docks, might have wharfs here though. Let's pop one there and it will accept the game meat. Same with this over here. We need to get this to accept the game. Okay. So that would start getting the food going. Now we need to get the limestone going and we're going to need people working this as well. So this is probably where we make one of those little settlements that will never grow too big. But bearing in mind that we're going to have miners here as well, we're probably going to make it a little bit larger than usual. Right? I reckons. It won't be the nicest place to live. And what we'll do, we'll get some basic bits in. So thanks to that bit of grass there, we can get that there. I would want a physician. But also a bazaar. So they can eat. They get basic medicine, water. That's pretty good. And then I may put in a temple later if I feel we need it. You know, and I may do. But there'll be room for it. You know, there'll be room for it. So we need the limestone quarry. And I'm thinking, let's do 3. That shouldn't be too bad. I think fire an architect's post here would be a smart move as well. And then we're going to need storage yards. And maybe like this. Limestone. We could even put in a juggler on the corner. What we might do for the moment is get the festival square in there, just because I've got nowhere else to put it right now. So I think that would be a pretty solid start. And while they're doing food, they're not doing much else over here. So this may also become a good spot for the military. Getting some forts out here and the recruiter maybe, or even the brewery, although really we want to try and get that on there, the barley, which means we would want to do the brewing over here. So yeah, we could potentially do army recruitment over here. Okay, well, let's get going and see how we get along. We'll waste no time with this. It's nice that we've only got 2 this time, quite honestly. It gets a bit much, you know. I can't seem to order the festival. Why?
I don't mind living here. Things could certainly be worse.
I can't seem to order the festival. Let's try it on this screen. That screen worked. Interesting. Okay, the first festival is going. Ooh, 100 people now live here. Seth. They are moving in. And we now have some coming down here. Hunting has started. I don't like the hunting. They're obsessed with that sound, aren't they? I wish they allowed other industry sounds. Like, I really enjoy all the clinking of the stone mines, much more than I'd like to hear arrows and ostriches being killed. Do you know what I mean? Like, the clinky clanks of this was always really appealing. I miss that. I wish this was the more dominant sound, quite honestly, than that. Do you know what we might do? Is get those shrines in, just because it's actually, they're quite good to get that information. Apathetic. Brilliant. While they're building up, let's have a look over here. If we set up a settlement here that did the brewery, it looks like we might also be able to grab some gold from here. Yeah. We'd be able to get some gold mines in. 3. This is where our money making would be. And then I'm hoping that we could start getting enough meat over here that it could feed everyone. We'll let this settle down first a little bit. And we might... Festival Square's in a slightly annoying place. Because actually it'd be good to get, I think, another granary here. But it's done now. It's quite expensive, so I'm not going to be moving it anytime soon. I suppose, with the granary on the other side, would it touch the... Yeah, it would. It would touch the storage yard, but that's what we may have to do. Or do we? Have a little offshoot up here with a couple of hunting lodges and a granary. Maybe. Let's do that. So if we come up here, put a couple of hunting lodges and a granary to accept all of that. That might work quite well. Your budding town now houses 500 residents. This is fantastic. I'm very happy about that. So what we're going to do, we're going to pause it again. We need to start making money, frankly. I'm a little bit concerned that I'm not seeing floods happen here. Maybe they don't. Maybe it just stays like that. That would be weird, though. But I've not seen this flood. In terms of opening routes, this is a really expensive waterway, but they do buy a lot of beer. But I think other places buy beer. See, look, this is a much cheaper waterway, and they buy a lot of beer too. So that could be a good starting point for us. They buy massive amounts of beer. Massive amounts. So this one might be a better one to go for. It's a little bit more expensive, but they buy a lot more beer. Meidum. So I think we might be doing that. Now, this land route could be good because we wouldn't have to build the docks and we'd be able to sell a bit of beer, and it's really cheap. Could do that, but I think I'm going to focus on them. I think I'm going to open that trade route. It's very expensive. Very expensive. It leaves us with 4,000. Okay. Well, we could start by focusing on these gold mines, I suppose. But now I've spent the 900. Now, because of where the grass is for the water supply, we may have to do my sort of little horseshoe shape thing around like this. And then we'll get the gold mines in. No messing. Yeah. It's going to be like that. It's going to be like that. Okay. Good. We're going to need a palace, aren't we? We are. And everyone's going to rob it. That's also a thing. That's also a thing. The palace is expensive, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Well, let's get basic amenities. For them, at least. Which I suppose, if I keep it right down, is that. But let's put in... We're going to need fire over there. We're going to need fire over here. Architects. We're going to need those. We don't want things catching fire or falling down, do we? Let's get the dentist and apothecary and the physician. Right, how much are the temples? 150 each. Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm going to put one, I think, here. Who was that? That was Seth. Okay. And one here. I think. We could do with some entertainment. Going in. And I know, like, beautification. It's like, why are you spending money on that? But it's... They're right by mines and stuff. We're going to pop those in. Now, let's see about personal mansion, the village palace. Look how expensive it is. That's what I like to bring this near. Oh, well. So the village palace, which needs to be touching grass. I think I'm going to pop it there. And we will put in the police stations. We are probably going to need that courthouse situation happening this time, aren't we? Probably. This could get intense. At least, though, it's not too far from here. It's a fairly short walk, but they might come and rob this directly. That's the thing. And I could do without it. It's actually getting quite desperate. I probably shouldn't have spent that 900 on the route. I should have just concentrated on the goal first. This is annoying, this overlap. That's quite annoying, isn't it? That is... That's a bit of a shame. And they can... No, let's get them to buy games. So they can come across here and get that. So let's get everybody moved in. No working dock. No, I know. I suppose the boats are coming. And they've got no dock to go to. It's a shame this screen doesn't work. So we need to hold a festival for Seth, but then... Oh, that was good. Okay. I'm not seeing any fish. We get the fishing wall. I'm not seeing fish jumping. That's curious. Right. So the gold mine has started. The gold mines have started. Probably going to have to put in a courthouse here or something, aren't we? The magistrates. It's quite cheap as well. Holds part of your treasury. That's quite interesting. Shall we put it just next door? Just straight up build it. Because we can't really afford to lose stuff. We can't. We can't. Oh, look. There they are.
Say that this city has plenty of food to go around.
It's coming fairly thick and fast. I don't know if we could get gold mines on the other side. If I built one there, would somebody work it? Don't know. Should we try? Because we can only fit one round there at the end of the day. Look, is that our architect going there?
I hope I'm credited for the great condition of this city.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get somebody, and then we're really doing, I think, the best with these gold mines that we can. Shall we put in a blockade there to try and send the water round? Although I think it's food. I think they've just run out of food. And it's not water at all. Actually, I think that's right. Get rid of it. 1,000 people! Now call your city home! Ah! That gold mine has started working. Oh, that's fantastic. So, my next focus, I think, will be to get the breweries up and running. Might as well get some more of that up and running. Yeah, we are not going to worry about entertainment for the moment. I reckon. Although, what's unemployment like? 19% unemployment. Jeez. Maybe we will then. How much is... They're quite cheap. What if we pulled a road here and built the dance school? I don't think they like being near the dance school though, do they? They don't like being near these things. What if we built it there? Would that be okay? Because they get smaller, so we could build like the band one somewhere else. Look, they have got people. Oh look, deliver. There we go, limestone. Maybe we could pop it there. They're out the way. That's strange, isn't it? But if it works. So we need to hold one for Ptah. But yeah, our unemployment is insane. Let money go up a little bit. And then we'll start thinking about getting this brewery going. Because we need to get the fields in. So, barley. Maybe like this. And then come up there. And we'll need work camps. Put a couple there. Try and soak up some of that unemployment. And then we need to get the breweries going. We're going to need a dock. Docks are quite expensive. That's okay though. Let's put the dock there. And we'll put in that. It can accept all the beer. And then I'm hoping we might be able to put a road back here and that it will function. So if we do this, accept all of that, and then we put in some brewers. Let's start with 2. Now, it might be a good idea to also... Oh, did we get our... yeah, we've used our emergency funds. Okay, it might also be good to get some fire and an architect's post back here. And see how we get on with that. See if we can get this industry off the ground. And see if we can get that unemployment down. 20%! They still haven't got food. Well, we do have it in here now. Oh, there she goes. And she stopped. And came back. Maybe because she ran out of food. Probably. And she'll go and get more. And go out again. Yeah, it just went down. She's back out. Yeah, okay. She's filling them up. Filling them up. Let's hold a festival for Seth. Now, we need to come to beer export. Export went over 100. Right. I might get rid of... I might move the festival square now. I might actually do that. What we might do... is move it over here somewhere. It's got really weird. What a mess. Get rid of that. Okay. It's all a little bit weird. We probably should have built the road there. Oh no, I'm making a right mess. Oh, what a waste. What a wasted income. Oh, God. But then that corner. But if I take that away for a second, just for a second, everyone, that'll link it up. Okay. Sorry. What a mess! Right. Now, what it is because I would like to get another granary in here. It's no joke. They're not going to like that granary at all. But let's get that in there. It's more jobs and it's actually useful. We could give them a nice garden maybe. Because the desirability of the area. Yeah, they hate the granary. Don't blame them. Proper nasty. That might help though. Give them some plazas. It's helping. Just trying to combat. Just trying to combat that granary.